I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. I just got this question. Hey Steve, what's the most common mistakes people make when it comes to losing weight or getting ripped? Great question. Well, you know what? People don't really understand about weight gain. You see, we don't typically overeat. When we gain weight, it's a slow, gradual process. It doesn't seem that way, but it is. Because just 100 extra calories a day, one extra Mick Ultra, is 100 extra calories a day, and after 1 year, that's 10 pounds. After 5 years, that's 50 pounds. So you can see how it's a delicate balance, and most of us are not gaining 10 to 20 pounds a year. It's a slow, gradual process because we have these extra calories that don't get burned off. So after 4, 5, or 6 years, we're 20 or 30 pounds overweight. So when you think about calories, think in terms of all those few extra calories that don't get utilized, that again stick around to eventually make us overweight over time. So I think in terms of people don't understand the concepts of getting an idea of how much you eat. That's important. Get a calorie breakdown and then get a general idea of the proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Because remember, calories are the currency of weight loss. If you wanted to spend money, the first thing you'd want to figure out is how much do I make each month? So I know how much to save, how much I can spend. Same thing with calories. If you don't know how much you're taking in, you got to get that. Another problem is that people underestimate how much they're eating. Now typically they don't overeat at each meal, but they take in those few additional extra calories in the forms of juices, colas, sweetened drinks, desserts, a nibble here, a nibble there, a bite here, a bite there. You walk through the break room at work, you grab half a donut. So all those little things begin to add up. And I just said, we don't need huge amounts of calories. You don't need to be eating 1,500 calorie hamburgers like the media wants us to believe and all that other garbage. You know, that would make you fat, but that's not how people get fat. It's those few unburned calories every day that people don't take into consideration. So you have to get a handle on your calorie intake. Another problem is people overestimate how many calories they're utilizing. Well, you know, Steve, I sat around today, but then I walked around the block and I must have burned 5,000 calories. Whoa, no. The body's very efficient. You're only burning about 70 calories per mile, whether you're walking or jogging. That ain't a lot. So people overestimate their calorie needs and they overestimate their calorie utilization. Another problem is that people would rather whine about it than work for it. You know, well, I'm just not gonna, well, you know, yeah, okay? We've all been around those people. They're on a constant diet. I don't care what it is. They're always whining and bitching. They want somebody to hand them the results. Another problem is that people have this perception that weight loss should happen like that. I saw this guy on TV lost 10 pounds in a week. Really? Yeah, I saw a guy who delivered pizza to a place and he had sex with 3 women. Do you think that's true? Probably not. So again, people have this misperception that weight loss should happen rapidly. Well, you know what? Normal weight gain doesn't happen rapidly. It happens gradually over time. Because if it's happened rapidly, you do something about it. But it happens slowly and gradually. It's imperceptible. So you don't even notice it. So weight loss is a gradual process. Remember, 1,000 calorie deficit every day for 7 days is a 2-pound loss over the course of a week. And that's serious weight loss. So if you're a bigger guy or a bigger woman, you can expect maybe a little bit more than that. But it's really back to the basics. And I don't really care what your diet is. If you eat Burger King and McDonald's every day, if you eat less Burger King and less McDonald's every day, you'll lose weight. Very plain, very simple. So get a handle on the total number of calories you're taking in. That'll give you a baseline. And if you're not gaining or losing any weight, you're doing okay. You're at equilibrium, even if you're still overweight. So you know how much you're taking in, and then you can either adjust your eating or adjust your exercise or a combination of the two. Most people underestimate what they're eating, not because they're not honest, but they just forget all the foods that, oh man, I had a bite of cake there, and like my buddy Scott is like, well, I had a whole sleeve of Oreos, but I don't do that often. Well, you don't have to do that often for it to add up. So it's all those little things that seem to add up for most of us. I don't care about the American diet and all that stuff, even if we had crappy diets. If you ate less, you'd be doing okay. People overestimate their calorie utilization. Well, I mowed the lawn and took a walk. I must have burned 8,000 calories, so now I can have a couple beers and a piece of cake. Then you got to want it. You got to want it in here. That's the most important thing. You have to decide that, you know something, I don't want to be overweight anymore. That's a waste of time. Let me just lose this weight and get on with my life. Let me lose this weight and start being happy. And let me stop listening to all the hype and the misinfomercials out there. Let me listen to the truth. Let me give that a try for 3 to 6 months. Because let me tell you something. If you actually put it to use and did all the right things, you'd lose weight rather quickly. And you know something? 6 months or even a year, if you have a lot of weight to lose, is not a long time to wait. I'll tell you this much. I'd work my ass off for 6 months or 8 months or 12 months to become a millionaire and never have to worry about money again. So my suggestion is just work your ass off, lose that weight, and get on with it and never have to worry about being overweight again. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard, and love your body.